If your friend's wedding is 8 weeks away and you're the one officiating, you're probably starting to realize that you need to be doing more than Googling on your lunch break and staring at a blank Word doc. So here's what we're doing in this video. I'm going to walk you through exactly what to focus on at the 8-week mark, the 4-week mark, 2-week mark, and the final week. Heads up though, 8 weeks can actually feel like a tight runway. If you've got more time, even better. But if you've got less, stick around. I'll tell you exactly what to compress. Hi, I'm Katie. I'm the creator of Something Borrowed Ceremonies. I've officiated a bunch of weddings for friends, and I built this whole channel for one specific person. The person who got asked to officiate said yes immediately because they were honored, and then about 10 minutes later thought, oh no, what did I just agree to? If that's you, you're in the right place. The reason that panic kicks in isn't because 8 weeks isn't enough time. It is enough time. The reason the panic kicks in is because no one ever told them what to do or in what order to do it. So that's what this video is for. It's a real roadmap. Let's get into it. Real quick before we dive in, I want to name the thing that trips most people up because if you don't fix this, no roadmap will save you. Most first-time officiants try to write the ceremony in the wrong order. They sit down with a blank page, then try to write the most personal, emotional, story-driven part first, the love story, the part where you talk about who the couple is and why they're so good together. And then they get completely stuck. They stare at a blank page, they open up ChatGPT, they hate what ChatGPT wrote, they close ChatGPT, they Google wedding ceremony script examples, and they read 40 of them, they kind of cobble them together, and then they hate that too. And then it's 6 weeks out and they still kind of have nothing. Here's the thing, writing a ceremony is a lot like baking. You can't just dump all the ingredients in a bowl, mix it together, throw it in the oven, and expect it to taste good. There's an order that you should follow, a structure you must build first. There are parts that have sort of a standard shape, and then you do the creative stuff on top of that. The roadmap I'm about to walk you through is built around that idea. We do the easy stuff first, hard stuff later, polish at the end. So let's get into the actual weeks. So you're 2 months away. The temptation right now is to start writing. Don't do that. 8 weeks out is for researching. There are 3 things you want to do this week. 1, have a real meeting with the couple, not a quick thanks for asking me coffee. This should be an actual sit down. It could be on Zoom or in person, but you need to ask them what they want the ceremony to feel like. What's the vibe? Funny, formal, somewhere in between? Are they writing their own vows or are they going to do a repeat after me style? Is this a religious ceremony, a secular one, or somewhere in between? Are there any traditions or rituals that they want included? Anyone who's recently passed away that they want acknowledged? This one meeting is going to save you weeks of guessing later. I cannot stress this enough. The biggest reason ceremonies feel off or generic is because the officiant didn't actually ask, they assumed. 2, send out questionnaires. After the meeting, send the couple a written questionnaire, separately, one to each partner, asking about how they met, the first date, the processional, what they love about each other, and why they're getting married now. And here's the move that elevates everything. Also send a similar questionnaire to 3 to 5 friends or family members who know the couple well. I do this even for couples that I know really personally. This is especially true if you're officiating for a sibling. I've mentioned this in other videos, but you might know your brother as a chaotic energy monster who's always cooking up trouble, but maybe his friends know him as the calm, steady one in their group. Both of those can be true. And when you write a ceremony that captures both, that's when people feel the most seen. That's the difference between what a nice ceremony and I will remember that for the rest of my life. 3, get yourself a master template. Find a ceremony script written by a real human that you can use as the skeleton. Not Google Scrap, not something AI generated, an actual finished ceremony with all 13 sections. The welcome, the acknowledgements, the love story, the vows, the ring exchange, all of it laid out for you so you can actually see and feel what done looks like. If you don't have one, this is a great week to find one, and we'll come back to this in a minute. So wrapping up your 8-week plan, have a meeting with the couple, send questionnaires out, and get your hands on a template. You haven't written a word of the ceremony yet, and that's totally fine. 4 weeks left. Questionnaires should be back by now, and if they're not, send a gentle nudge ASAP. Now we start writing. And this is the most important sentence of this whole video. We start with the easy part. A modern wedding ceremony has 13 sections, and about 11 of them are actually pretty formulaic. They have a standard shape. People at weddings expect them to sound a certain way. These are sections like the welcome statement, the acknowledgements, the grounding moment, the readings, the declaration of consent, the vows, the ring exchange, the pronouncement, and the closing remarks. These are the meat and potatoes of the ceremony, where they're likely not going to be the parts where you really wow anyone. They're also not where you'll embarrass yourself if you keep them somewhat simple. You can draft most of them in an afternoon by adapting your master template, keeping what fits the couple, deleting what doesn't, and always adding as many specific details as possible where they are needed. This is not about using a boilerplate. It's about focusing your energy where it really matters. Now, why do I recommend doing it this way? 2 reasons. First, momentum. Writing 11 sections quickly, even imperfectly, feels amazing. You go from I have nothing to I almost have a full ceremony in 1 or 2 writing sessions. That alone will lower your blood pressure significantly. Second, it gives you a sense of length. Once you've drafted the easy sections, read them out loud at the speed you'd actually read them in the wedding. And then time it. Now you know how much runway you have left for the love story and the introduction, which, spoiler alert, are coming next. By the end of week 4, meaning roughly 4 weeks out, you should have rough drafts of every ceremony section except the officiant introduction and the love story. Those 2 will be the major differentiators, and we're saving them for last because they're the parts that take real creative energy. Now we're 2 weeks out, and we want to do the hard, creative forward work. This week is dedicated to writing 2 sections, the officiant introduction and the love story. These are the parts where you, as the officiant, really get to shine and showcase your creative writing acumen. Here's the workflow I use. I'd recommend giving yourself 2 to 3 big writing sessions, a couple of hours somewhere comfortable when you know you won't be distracted. I personally like making a coffee and getting kind of cozy by lighting a candle and really making myself comfortable and primed for that creative work. I know it sounds silly, but frankly, the ritual really matters. You're trying to get into that creative headspace, not check off a task. Step 1 is to mine your questionnaires. Pull out the responses from the couple and their friends and family and read them all the way through. Highlight any line that gives you a feeling, something funny, something tender, a recurring theme, or a story that 2 different people told you about. These are going to be your themes. Aim for 3 to 4 big themes that show up across multiple responses. That is what the ceremony is going to be about. Step 2, write the love story. This is a section that tells attendees how the couple got from strangers to about to get married. You can structure it chronologically. You can do first met, first date, falling in love, the moment they knew, the proposal, or you can structure it thematically around those big themes that you just pulled out. Either works, just pick one and start. The first draft will likely be mediocre. That is normal and correct. One of my favorite writers, Anne Lamott, has this whole thing in her book, Bird by Bird, about how every writer has to write a bad first draft, and you are not exempt. Neither am I. Get the bad draft down so you can start improving it. Step 3 is to write the officiant introduction. This is the part where you, the officiant, introduce yourself to the room and explain why you're qualified to be telling this love story. You'll start by sharing one clear sentence, such as, "For those who don't know me, I'm Katie, and I've known the bride since college." Then you'll share a vivid trait, a small specific moment that proves what kind of person they are. You'll share a story about the couple and how you met the other partner, possibly, and then you'll ultimately bridge into the love story. Here's the thing I want you to remember. One small story is worth 10 adjectives. Don't tell me your friend is loyal. Tell me about the time that she drove for hours in a snowstorm to bring you soup. Always show, don't tell. This is the single biggest upgrade that you can make to your writing. By the end of week 2, you should have a complete draft. Not a polished draft yet, but complete. Every section written, every transition exists, even if it's clunky, and you can read it from top to bottom. If you're at this point, 2 weeks out with a complete draft, then you're in great shape. In the final week, we are not writing anymore, we are polishing. There are 3 things on the docket. 1, edit in passes, not all at once. Don't try to fix everything in one read through. Do 3 separate passes. The first pass is to read the whole thing from start to finish, just feeling for flow. Note any transitions that feel clunky. Note any sections that feel too long or too short. Don't fix anything yet, just take notes in the margins. Second pass, hunt for vague writing. There's a cheat code that I love for this, which is to circle every time you use the words is or are when describing the couple. If I wrote something like, "Their love is strong," the word is a flag. I need to ask myself, what's my evidence? And then replace the abstract claim with concrete details. Instead of saying their love is strong, they've weathered 3 years of long distance, 2 cross-country moves, and a foster dog with separation anxiety. Make sure you're always adding specific details. During the third pass, you'll want to read it out loud, the whole thing. This is non-negotiable. You're writing a speech, not an essay. And the only way to know if a sentence works in a speech is to say it out loud. If you trip over a sentence 3 times, you'll want to change it. If you run out of breath in a sentence, then it's probably too long and you need to break it up. Repeat these steps as many times as you need until it feels right. Next, you'll need to run the rehearsal. Most weddings have a rehearsal the day before. As the officiant, you're often the one running it, or at least co-running it with the planner if there is one, or being an active participant. Walk everyone through the processional order, then walk through it again. Verbally talk through the ceremony so people know roughly what's coming and when. Confirm cues. When does the couple stand? When does the wedding party sit down? And when you'll ask for those things. A pro tip from someone who's been there, rehearsals are often a little bit chaotic. People are tired, possibly drinking alcohol, definitely not paying full attention. So be patient, repeat yourself, and smile a lot. Next, the day of details. This is the stuff that's easy to overlook. How are you planning to read your script? Printed or on an iPad or tablet? Please do not do this on your phone. I beg of you, it looks super tacky. If you're printing your script, where are you planning on printing it? Is the venue windy? If yes, your script needs to be in a binder so it doesn't fly away. I also always advise looking at the wedding license in advance so you know what you're signing. Confirm with the couple where and when you'll sign it. Make sure they've identified their two witnesses, and always have a glass of water nearby. I also recommend wearing comfortable shoes, eating something before the ceremony. Genuinely, these seem small, but they will save you. Real talk for a second. I just walked you through about 8 weeks of work in about 10 minutes. And if your reaction is something like, wait, that's a lot, and I'm not totally sure I can pull this off, I want to validate that. It is a lot. And 8 weeks can actually feel like a pretty tight timeline. Most of the people I've helped through this process spent more like 3 or 4 months on the ceremony, and they still felt rushed at the end. That's completely normal. So if you're sitting there with a wedding 8 weeks away, or 6 or 4, and you don't want to spend the next 2 months piecing this together from blog posts and Reddit threads and ChatGPT outputs that don't quite sound like a real human wrote them, I made a course for that. It's called More Than Words. It's about 90 minutes of video, is designed to be completed over maybe 2 lunch breaks, and it's broken into 4 short modules. It walks you through every single thing that I just covered, but with my actual scripts, my templates, the questions that I send to friends and family, the AI prompts that I use to brainstorm, the editing checklists, and a step-by-step roadmap so you always know exactly what to do next. It will save you hours of wasted time and internet dead ends. You can watch the whole thing this weekend and feel 1,000% more prepared by Monday morning. It's $49 and the link is in the description, or you can find it at somethingborrowedceremonies.com. Whether you take the course or not, the most important thing I can leave you with is this. Officiating a wedding is one of the highest honors anyone can give you. The fact that you're here watching a video at probably 11 p.m. on a Tuesday trying to figure out how to do this well, that's already proof that you're taking this seriously, and I believe that you're going to do great. Use the timeline, start where you can, compress where you have to, and remember, you don't need a perfect ceremony, you really need an honest one. Always remember that the couple chose you for a reason. If this was helpful, hit subscribe. I publish videos every week like this for first-time officiants, and if you've got a question about your specific ceremony, drop it in the comments. I read all of them. I'll see you in the next one.